calling all vendors, calling all farmers and manufacturers, be part of the Buxton Christmas Market and Small Business Expo on Friday, December 20th from 14 hours and all day Saturday, December 21st at Benjamin's Lawn, Millwalk Road, opposite Tipperary Hall. Get registered. Call 682-7981. Come and put your products on sale and display. Step out to get known.
The fire burning red in a Judicial representing if it comes hard here. You know. Big up Kidaki, Buxton massive. Hey Babylon boy, you going like in a like come son. Red.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. Now know what you gonna even money. Money, never money, money, never money, money. You can keep your conniving money. When you've been up for a bum, you know, tell me money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, you know, tell me money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money. Now know what you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that we walk. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. This is all the money that we walk. I said money, neighbor, money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. I know what you can I be money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in the Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Tom's TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruption over land and sea, where the wicked politician they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting aisle money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Beep, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see. Sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, with Jah as ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. They got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow, Poor People Governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese morning time. The people calling Guyanese morning time. Rhythm, rhythm, Guyanese morning time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
Are you planning your next visit to Oil Ridge, Guyana, South America? Well, let's accommodate you at Varon's Cheerful Country Manor. With free secured on-premises parking, our beautiful vacation air-conditioned home offers 3 beds, 2 bathrooms, a spacious kitchen, and all modern amenities. Located at Tushen, on the eastern bank of the mighty Essequibo and the western coast of Demerara, Varon's Cheerful Country Manor is just a stone throw from the ocean. Make that reservation now on Airbnb and VRBO. For contact, call us on 516-770-3053 or 592-685-3521. Make Varon's Cheerful Country Manor your home away from home.
If you're looking for sweetness to put inside a basket, I am the whole blinking market.
Come get your Christmas bargains at the Buxton Christmas Market and Business Expo on Friday, December 20th from 14 hours and all day Saturday, December 21st. Church of God Road, opposite Tipperary Hall. The Buxton Christmas Market and Small Business Expo. Vendors 682-7981 for registration.
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in Tongley, looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work. But everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place where you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you.
Comes out your son. You burn this wine when I want you shine. The tree of life, them I want you climb, cause them heart not kind. Comes, I say them heart not kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Red Hat.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T and W Harris Butcher Shop located in the East Rheinveld Market Meat section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T and W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more. Calling all vendors, calling all farmers and manufacturers, be part of the Buxton Christmas Market and Small Business Expo on Friday, December 20th from 14 hours and all day Saturday, December 21st at Benjamin's Lawn, Millwalk Road, opposite Tipperary Hall. Get registered. Call 682-7981. Come and put your products on sale and display. Step out to get known. in the side is finished. Morning, neighbor, morning. Then I like me conniving morning. It's 20 minutes to 8 o'clock. It's Friday, it's Free Talk Friday, so I don't start talking. How was it yesterday? How was it last night? How you feeling today? What you up to? How have you been? This thing showing me jumble garble stuff. Anyhow, how have you been? What can I do you for? Are you satisfied that you got the bang for your buck yesterday? Did you get value for your labor? Was your employer fair to you? What were the achievement of those goals you've set? Smart goals, I dare remind you. Were you able to achieve those smart goals you set? Or you just went through the motions like many of us did? How many of you successfully registered for the cash grant? Y'all don't think I don't pay attention, you know. I noticed Hannah Mohammed is saying that she got registered with just her ID card. I wonder if she was able to accomplish that feat without with just her name. Mohammed, nobody interferes with the Mohammeds in this country, you know. Whether you're a relative or nobody wants to trouble with the Mohammeds. Mohammed's got some big guns, literally and figuratively. Yeah. How many of you were able to successfully register for the cash grant? How many of you have already received your cash grant? It's December 6th. They start paying out. I know people let them answer. Walking around with bags of cash. Bags of cash, buy bags of cash. Cash money. Region 9, money there. How many of you are optimistic that you can get this money? You know, sometimes I marvel at how wicked and stupid we can be in this country. Wicked and stupid. I was told that over at NIS, they have the pensioners going. And I interpret the information as going to get registered for the cash grant. And they got the poor old people in some sordid situation. They got them old people stand up in sun at one NIS location, which I will not name. They got people standing up in feces, the overflowing water from a septic tank, and you know, all of this inhumanity. I ask again, why is it poor people have to be put through such strenuous, if I can call it, and strenuous is a mild word, situations just to get a moiety, a little bit, huh? Oh, why? The government has made Guyanese so poor. And let me be specific because y'all gonna say, I know we're talking about y'all and so I say. The PPP in government over the years has made Guyanese so poor. That any morsel they throw at them, they see it as a blessing. And they've further demeaned themselves by doing all kinds of shenanigans to get to that morsel. Most people I speak with or I spoke with are saying, I go in and get registered for me money. I ain't allow the government to keep it. Because I need it. How much things the money could do for me? Yes. 100,000 Ghana dollars to do some things for me. It could do something for every citizen. It is not going to do the most. And it might not very well allow you to do the best. But at what cost will we collect that money? I think yesterday I raised the question of who is managing the data that is collected? What will that data be used for? Are we putting it beyond the PPP to use it for ulterior motives? They're talking with Elon Musk, a tech giant that knows all about technology and how computers can be infiltrated and hacked and so on. If you listen to the Trump campaign, you will hear Elon Musk somewhere along the campaign trail say, voting machine or other thing. Anything could be hacked, allegedly. And so it is alleged that Trump through Pompeo, the US Department of State, etc., influenced the last election. We know Pompeo came here directly. They issued threats and sanctions, etc. And so it would seem that the PPP is a favorite of Trump. Many believe so. They got some kind of deal, transactional, that's the PPP and that is Trump. And so when you see, as soon as Trump gets back into power, the PPP is talking about being in conversation with somebody who allegedly used their wealth and resources to ensure that Trump won the American election. You don't have to look far to understand or to conclude that the possibility is the PPP is shopping for the same kind of influence or services, let me call it that Musk must have provided for the Trump campaign. And anything computer related must have data. Data is an integral part of information management, let me call it that. And so the PPP announced this cash grant because in its negotiations, in its conversations with the IT geek, etc., it came to understand that it needed data in order to achieve what it intends to achieve at the next election. To nefarious purposes, I did say, nefarious means. And so they were told, like the woman was told when she wanted to quiet her husband, the woman said, go and get a whisker from a living lion and the teeth of a crocodile and come back. They were told, y'all need to get the people's information, y'all need to get data on the people. And then we could manipulate that data, biometrics and all, to give you all a victory. Is it possible that that is what transpired? And so they had to knock their heads together as to how can they clandestinely collect data on the citizens of this country. Huh? Y'all talk to me. And so one way of clandestinely collecting data on the citizens en masse is by announcing this big payout, at least in the eyes of some people. This cash grant, this massive payout, for which every adult, every voter must register. Every voter must register. And so what the PPP is out there doing, because I've established to you already, I said yesterday, at least from the evidence I've seen, most of the quote unquote enumerators, most of the people who are doing the registration, most, not all, there are exceptions to the rule, but the majority are PPP operatives. They are PPP operatives. And so what instructions were they giving, apart from what the instructions that every enumerator was given? What instructions were the PPP operatives given? Is it to make a duplicate copy so that we can have it for free the most? Like some people suggest happened with the GCOM hard drive that was removed from the returning officer's place at Ashman's building during the 2020 election. And so for $100,000, so less than 500 US dollars, you sell your biodata and everything to the PPP. And they will convert that into hundreds of millions of dollars because they are going to use it to stay in power. Let me give you a snippet of how information can be used against you quickly. Photograph, facial recognition. Name, address, email, so on, profiling. They will track you down on social media. So even if you did not use your correct name on social media, facial recognition will do the rest for them. They will track you down on social media. They will find you and they will get into your head. How will they get into your head? Because they're going to be targeting you with specific information. After they find you and they create a profile of who you are. Have you ever heard about profiling? Kidaki Amsterdam is a Buxton Baghdad side goon. He likes sugar cake and black pudding. Every Friday night, based on these posts, he is at Club Twilight drinking beers. Based on social media posts, he has a crew of about 5. And they will create that profile of you. And then they will target you with information based on that profile of you. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone on the phone, let's say talking about a mobile phone? And shortly after the conversation finishes, you see something pops up on your line about a mobile phone? Huh? Talk to me. Because they're listening. You are being profiled. Oh, this will want a mobile phone. Let me start pitching advertisements to him. Based on what we said, these would be the most suitable ones to tell his view. And if we bombard him with enough information, he gonna buy, Because he got the money based on, when we check out the profile and things, we were able to see his purchase pattern and so on. He gonna buy. And so when the PPP start to bombard you with information via social media and some direct text, because they have your phone numbers, don't they? Are they asking for your phone numbers? Yes. They know that you're a single parent struggling with 5 children. Unemployed. Because you didn't complete CXC. And nobody wants anyone to work with them who didn't complete CXC. The structure acts for you. The PPP, once it gets back in, when the PPP gets back into power in 2025, we will be giving single parents a monthly assistance of $40,000 per child. Right? What? This $200,000 for my house alone. And if the mother is not working or the parent is not working, we shall add another $100,000. What? This $300,000 me household alone can get? I vote in PPP. It sounds comical, right? It sounds like a joke. It might be extreme, but they will target you. They certainly will target you with information. So is it worth $100,000? I heard Mr. Jordan say, I'm going for my money because I entitled it. And I know where my vote goes. Kudos to strongmen like Mr. Jordan. I wonder what percentage of the society is as strong as Mr. Jordan. And those parliamentarians who say, I collected my money because it's due to me. And those, well, you know, if you dip your hand in the cookie jar, you can't tell other people don't dip their hand in the cookie jar because you know what? They're going to tell you you're selfish, you're self-serving. So if you already serve yourself, you ain't got no other options but to tell people go and collect the money. Regardless of what hoop they have to jump through, that you didn't jump through. And that is why it's always go to, let's say a psychological war this morning. Because I feel like a psychological warrior. Let me war. People look for leadership. People look for leadership. And whatever the leader does, the followers will do. If encouraged to. And so who are the first set of people? What do I go back to these announcements and so on, you know? Who are the first set of people called to register for the cash grant? Y'all check it. At least the first set of people I heard being called to register for the cash grant for your parliamentary representatives. Right? The first set of people that called were your parliamentary representatives. Why? Because they will now set the example for you to follow. And if they had said, we are registering for no $100,000 under these conditions, then the people who are behind them would say, we are registering for any $100,000 without the people with these conditions because our parliamentary representatives chose not to do it, and this is a bad deal. But the MPs went and they registered. They registered, perhaps they were duped to believe that, you know, it's a simple and straightforward process. They were asked to provide what? Their ID cards. And they went and they provided their ID cards and they answered whatever question they answered. At least none of them told us that they had to take photographs. None of them told us that their ID cards had to be scanned and photographed. I'd like them to say that. And at Ferguson is usually on this program. And at Ferguson, you're listening. I want to know what process the parliamentarians went through to register for this money. Any parliamentarian who listening, tell me. Flubes, are you on? Ganesh Maipur, are you there? Chris Jones, any parliamentarian who had to register for this cash grant, I want them to call us right now and tell us what process they had to go through to get registered for the cash. And so we can compare it to what the citizens are being asked to do. Because I know, or at least I think I know based on information that I received, that they didn't have to go taking photographs and they didn't have to jump through hoops They didn't have to answer certain questions and so on and so forth. So when it moved from the parliamentary representatives registering to ordinary citizens registering, the criteria changed. And I'm using change loosely here, because the reality is the criteria existed all the time. They just didn't tell you. And they just didn't tell your parliamentary representatives that once they got registered, their supporters will have a different process to go through for registering. But like I'm saying, they register already. So society is going to be very judgmental on them if they were to say, y'all don't register. Y'all don't collect this money. That's why leadership is important. You see me? I sit in here and I say it again. $200,000 is likely to pass me, because I'm not going to register under those conditions. I am very, very serious. I'm not going to register under those conditions. I'm not telling you that I wouldn't go to the registration process. Understand it. I will go to the registration process, and I will tell you my rationale after. I will tell you my rationale. I mean, first I gotta find the time to waste. Seriously, I gotta find the time to waste. But hear me. I intend to go to the registration center to get registered. I want to go on a day when nobody's there, when they ain't got no rush, so none of my fellow BUXTONIANs ain't gonna cuss me out and tell me, Kidaki, you always with this stupidness. When coalition, when I been in power, I ain't give nobody nothing. I don't know nothing for nobody. Now the people want to get away $100,000. You only unbug the process. Move, let people get registered. I know the kind of costs I'm gonna get. So I want to go a day when there's nobody that I will humbug. Because I intend to go to and attempt to get registered. But I will simply make it very clear that I'm registering with my ID card and no other photograph is to be taken. And I give you consent to take me photograph. I don't know you can take it. Why do I intend to go through that process? Because I'm hoping that when they refuse to complete the registration process and give me what is rightly due to me as a citizen down the line, some lawyer is going to step forward and say, let us sue them for discrimination. No, I ain't saying I'm going to hire a lawyer, no. I am hoping that the lawyer will be able to register, to step forward, to say, let us sue them for discrimination. Why discrimination? Because there were two different criteria. There were two different processes used for the same thing. Parliamentarians were allowed to just provide their ID card and they got registered for their money. And by now, God knows they must have gotten their money. But then ordinary citizens, if I call us that, quite frankly, we all are ordinary citizens. I'm not sure where you ask Mr. John, you ever think if somebody think they would try, right? My thing is, since you have one criteria, or is it criterion? Them English police gonna come after me, right? For the parliamentarians, and you have a different one for citizens, you are being discriminatory. This grant is to be given out to Guyanese. Every Guyanese 18 years and older. The only thing necessary to provide that I'm a Guyanese 18 years and older is my ID card, as they did for the parliamentarians. Why do you want to put me through the mill as a non-parliamentarian? Isn't that discriminatory? I will, like I said, attempt to get registered without a photograph, of course. Because I'm hoping that they're going to really discriminate me. And some lawyer wants to get a pay, they're going to step forward and say, let me challenge this damn thing. I mean, there aren't many lawyers in this country who seem to like to choose the fight I choose. But I think that's a legitimate fight. If you people disagree with me, y'all tell me you disagree with me. Any legal mind on this thing, tell me if I'm not on the right path when I say I perhaps could sue for discrimination. And the people's representatives ought to step forward and file a class action suit because this is discrimination. But no, we saw Darren Poole, we saw Antomo, we saw Debad. That we can't take the chances to fight to challenge the status quo and lose out on the $100,000. We ain't gonna live to see the next day if we don't get $100,000. We gonna grieve to death. But I bet y'all, a whole lot of us will grieve to death if we allow the PPP to steal the next elections and stay in office. Then is when we're gonna see real grief. Then is when we will see real grief. So Guyanese, we got to decide, you want $100,000 or you want a chance at good governance? We want a chance of free, fair, and credible elections. We want to protect our data. What do you want? What cost are you willing to pay for 100,000 Guyanese dollars? Less than 500 US dollars. What cost are you willing to pay? Because it's going to be a lifelong cost, you know. Right? It's going to be a lifelong cost. They are worked out. But it's Free Talk Friday, 8 minutes past 8 o'clock. The lines are open. They've been open since I sat here. The lines are open. I saw one of them, whoever it named, referring to Mr. Jordan as the worst finance minister and asking about $80 million signing bonus. You need to go back to Lily ABC. That you done bad. You done bad. They got a ban in the village. They got a ban in the village with the scam mud brains. I said mud brains dunce. But when I hear the term mud brains as a youngster, I used to say, why they call this man mud brains? Old people are the way insulting you. Why you're not lying like you have mud in your brain? I wonder if that is how mud brains got that name. But you who come here talking nonsense, I don't know where you got in your brain. Kaka. All of these months and years of discussing this $80 million and showing proof of what this $80 million was used for in terms of going to the World Court on the Venezuelan border issue and so on, and proving that the money, Mr. Jordan sent me those receipts which I displayed on this program, the money was deposited to the consolidated fund and so on and so forth. Jackass, you still coming here to tell me what $80 million? You still coming to tell us about $80 million? But your PPP guards have never provided proof that the money that they collected years ago from that oil company that was driven out of the New River Triangle area or out of the Quarantine River area, what the name? The PPP got multiples of $8 million, $18 million from them. But did they Show us what they did with it. Do you know if it ever graced the coffers of Guyana? The disappearance of the money that the auditors found, was it $240 million? Somebody asking. The ExxonMobil audits that revealed that Guyana was overcharged by, I think, $240 million or more. And then by the time you shut your eye and wake up, it comes down to $14 million or $10 million or whatever it is. Wait there. Have you asked the short crook about it? Did you ask the short crook about it? Nah. The Petro-Caribbean money. Y'all remember Petro-Caribbean money? Venezuela had a deal with Guyana and some other and some Caribbean countries. We're gonna provide you with oil at a good cost and a good deal. You could sell it on the profit and so on. You could keep for the development of your country and so on and so forth. Guyana in exchange was giving Venezuela rice. Billions of dollars went into that account. But when the government changed, they were made millions in it. Did you ask the PPP where the money there? Yeah, I asked the PPP where the money there. I saw the ballad Jacobite. The tyrant saying the other day, because they know WPA, you know, that the WPA, through SAR and so on, did investigations and they only collected money by false pretense, and so they never found anything. Who this man talking to? Who this man really talking to? Is intellectually lazy followers? Because y'all gonna check the news and y'all gonna see how many vehicles, for example, and state properties, for example, that private citizens were occupying with the blessings of the PPP and behaving as if they own those properties, and those properties were collected and returned to the control of the state. That is just an example. That was in the public. I can tell you about that. Can you remember the foreign secretary, I think his name is now, publicly stating that he is willing to make recompense? He's willing to pay the difference in value for the land that he was occupying, the land that he was a part of. I'm talking about Robert Prasad. Y'all remember public statements issued, published about that? If Sarah wasn't onto something, why you think he stepped forward, and why you think there are many in the PPP and many beneficiaries who step forward and say, well, hey, we're willing to make things right? I'll talk to me. Full attack, but full now listen. So this clown that asking these stupid questions. I mean, as educators, we say they ain't got stupid questions. But this one I had to boom see it. Right? Yes, you fall out. And boom see it. Well, you see, Marcel Glasgow is telling us about the DPP also. There's a long list. I want to tell you all something too. I remember what was $70 million worth of gold. Mr. Jordan, why you calling every talk about this gold story? That was smuggled to Curacao. They did find the origin and track where the gold traveled and so on and so forth, you know. They were about to get at least part of the proceeds of the gold returned to Guyana when the government was removed from office. I wonder what the state of that matter now. Mr. Jordan, as Minister of Finance, might be able to tell you more about that story if he's willing to. If he's willing to, the lines that caller you are on.
Yeah, good morning to you again, everybody. Now, these people always like to talk after they go into talk about these measures. I wonder if they will remember. I think because the death of their from the leader that I say from the father of the country was when he lost $30 million that he had said he would have paid to the public servants in those days. And they claim when he applied for that money, the money was and is still missing up to now. And that plunged him into a heart attack that subsequently led to his demise. His death, God might know where his demise. Anyway, they keep talking about these things that ain't making sense. Now, when you listen to Minister Jordan yesterday, that was a powerful thing that he did yesterday. Because he let them, if they could see the things that they found the leader, they found the leader, the father of their nation, I mean nation, the things that Jaban did with allowing Suriname, who was stealing a part of Guyana, into the CARICOM, when there was a thing that you had to be of a clean character to be entered into CARICOM, you ain't thieving nobody land. So, but because of him, he get them into CARICOM. That was like the same thing what they did in the police force. They had a lot of questionable police who they knew had problems. And because people like Paul Slower and Mr. Conway was, I would have not have allowed them. They got rid of them and put who they wanted. Hence, the police forces in this type of quandary that is in with the different type of things coming up. One person got so many charges. And let me tell you, they got more to come out, but it is only time. Now coming back to the heroes, I was glad that Minister Jordan talked about the heroes and the heroes I did. And we all know that when your body is soul can rest, you keep roaming. You see the disasters that is befalling the brand new idea, then you must get coupled dead. Plus, they did highway breaking up. More things got to happen because when you still do things, wrong things, you just got to pay for it. Now with our roundabout, that is the crane, really no roundabout. It was being built on a restaurant and they had an accident. I don't know if it was a fatal accident, but a car traveling, going east, going around the turn, ended up on the high part and caught a fire. Now these people got to realize that the vehicles that you got now, these vehicles, they are built in such a way that the slightest thing, you're losing control of them. And I think that the drivers in Guyana, they should all go for refresher courses in driving. Coming to the big trucks, I could remember as a young person, they had some trucks they call the E for trucks, or E for IFF, E for trucks. And those trucks were half the size of these big things that they got now. And when they came out, people like things between them. And Burnham put those trucks to go into the hinterland, Linden in the mines to work. Because the way to the truck, they could only work in those areas where you got solid rocks and stuff. He did not allow those trucks out in the township because he knew that the way to the truck, guys, you got to talk about 20 tons. The rapids could only take 18 tons. The truck alone is the way. And those trucks would come across the bridge with load. So what really are you doing to the bridge? Answer that, King, I don't want to talk. But I want you to come across the Demerara Bridge and take a good look, a very good look at the new bridge that is building. And when he finished, we'll talk off air about that, because my eyes is showing me something that anyway, so that is it. And about the school sports. Have you ever heard in all your life school sports is being done in the month of December? Yesterday I was walking out with the parent, and she said, "Oh, God, for us to be actually running up." She said, "Man, they keep the school sports now. The school sports they got the track and field. And the thing with the school sports, long ago, the teachers used to do the school sports. But Bat Lion has put the sport under his ministry as youth sports and culture. And people from his office come to run the school sports. He said long ago, he used to got medic, ambulance, everybody, that if the children, anything happened to them, they could have medical attention. But he said now a child black out. The woman stand up, can't do nothing. The sports was so poorly run that it's only a few parents who went along with the children, because the joy of it in September is no longer there. And she even started to say, as far as I see, this install government, they know that the races, the children who excel at sports are mainly black children. So to destroy them, this is what they have done to our children. And mind you, the woman who was speaking is of mixed, she's a Toglo. So it's not a pure black talking about what is being done. And all over, they are trying to destroy everything that the Africans used to do in this country that we grew up with. And they mean that when they're finished with their patrimony in this country, there must be nothing left to remind us of who, after we came out those slave ships, worked the many years as slaves, and became emancipated. We must never have a proper history to go back to, because as what Dr. Hines said, I think it was Thursday, that by the time they finish, they will destroy the natural soul of the Africans in Guyana. It wouldn't be destroying my soul. So that is my comments for today. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. They say that you have to provide receipts when you talk about certain things. So here I am providing some receipts. And these receipts are coming from the internet. Call over the line. I'm going to read a few headlines from Kaicho News. Or let me say the news in general. Village Voice said in October 2020, Sarah saved Guyana billions of dollars. In 2018, Sarah readying 6 cases for court to reclaim stolen government property. In 2018 April, that was March, April, Sarah identifies 10 cases to begin recovering state assets. Right? Those are just some of the headlines. And then I will go directly to one in Kaicho News. In a Freddie Kisun column, part of it reads, Robert Prasad went public with a suggestion that he would be willing to pay the market value. Once he made his position known and he followed through with a settlement with Sarah, then how can that information be kept secret? So this is not a figment of my imagination. It's not a figment of my imagination. But there are international treaties and so on which organizations such as SARA and the heads must follow. And so for the sake of those treaties, I guess a lot of what SARA did and accomplished will not be known. Maybe until Christ comes again, but those who know, know. And what is in the media is in the media. Caller, thank you for holding. You're live.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
In connection with Mr. Jordan, you should keep him on to take some questions because I don't know who to believe. This guy, Jack, you keep accusing the man of spending like $300 and something billion without parliamentary approval. accusing the man for just call up an adversary and hand him a contract. You understand? And to the person with the man with the 18 million, the man eventually deposited the 18 million into the consolidated fund after a good running around a couple of months where, they had to figure out what to do with the money. And eventually when I know they get it, then they put it, when they realize people know they get it, then they put it in the consolidated fund. When we say it's a gift and all them things, you need to clarify them things, man.
Sometimes I just allow you. When I want to talk to you, listen to me. This is my program. I know this caller, and I can refuse to take his call every time he calls because I know he's going to come and jackass himself. But I allow him to show his jackassery. When people know they're getting money, they put it in the consolidated fund. Was the money acquired to go to court on the Venezuela-Ghana border controversy? Yes. Was the money used for that? Yes. So I don't know why these jackasses can't pull their head out of their assholes. Why are we still fighting with this issue? Because Jagio said, why you don't go stuff your head up in Jagio backside and stay there? Next call.
Kadaki, good morning to you and your listeners. Kadaki, a general election is something that costs millions of dollars, because the workers will have to be paid. Now, the opposition calling for new voters lists and biometric, because what happened in the 2020 election, they doesn't want that to happen again, which is fair. But the ruling government doesn't want that. If the ruling government doesn't want new voters lists and biometric, what sense keeping an election? Because the same result and what happened in 2020 will happen in 2025. So why spend all that millions of dollars to pay people to go through all this ups and downs, and then the election rig? It doesn't really make sense. That math's really not mathsing. Karaki, I watched a clip last night. Well, it's a clip that really took place about 4 months ago with these residents from the East Bank Demerara that was demolished. Karaki, tears came from my eyes, boy. Tears came from my eyes. This government is a heartless government. They are evil. And Barack talking about nobody don't take Rickford serious. But the evidence are there. If every Thursday you keep in a live conference and your viewership is a couple hundred, and Rickford does be on the TV not as often as you, and Rickford does be, his viewership is in the millions, what that say? You're not speaking the truth. And is you the people then really taking serious? And Barrett, if you open your eye, you will see that you are unpopular. You are unpopular. I am out.
Thank you for that voice, sir. Happy birthday, Rhonda. Because we have no program on Sunday. But you could come to Club Twilight if you want and drink a beer. Good
morning, Brother Kidaki. Morning, viewers. Brother Kidaki, Pertaining to that call about talk about R.B. Norton, I want to know if these fellas, this personal issue with R.B. Norton, why these fellas allowing this personal issue to escalate? So if you don't like the man, shut up. Hush up and shut up, man. If you don't like the man, gotta be a personal issue with you and this man, or somebody paying you to ridicule this man. You understand me? Or talk about bad about this man. You understand me? The man is the opposition leader. He's the largest opposition leader they have. Largest party opposition leader they have in this country. Come on, bro. That man stayed all his life, all his political life in this one party. Never go nowhere. Never snitch. Never take no backhand deal from the PPP. Oh my God. What more y'all want to see and hear, man? Buddy, let me tell y'all something. Y'all stupid African people. Let me tell y'all something. If the PPP are using y'all to get that R.B. Norton, yo, don't care what y'all try to do. It's not going to work, boss man. The man is the presidential candidate for the opposition. And nobody can change her. Only God can change her. And the only way God can change her by taking Mr. R.B. Norton's life. And God will never do that. Because God knows everything what this man goes through to be the opposition leader today. All of the rest of the opposition leader fail us, man. Fail us completely. They fail us. And all that the members of in the PNC party was trying to do, Mr. Norton. When he was elected, before he was elected, all the things that they're trying to get at this man about. You see, God love it. For go at waste. Come on, you know. What do we African people, man? Yo, we don't want to see Ghana come good because y'all getting a little crumbs from the start PPP racial. We don't like African people. Come on, bro. Y'all hush up and shut up, buddy. You know, we don't have time for this right now. We don't have time for this. And I'm happy that so happy that Mr. Hines, Dr. Hines, said that you don't want to be the opposition, no presidential candidate. I love that. You know, that man is a patriotic Guyanese. That man is a respectable Guyanese, Dr. Hines. Look what this man done to this country. Look what this man is saying. This man saying don't want to be the presidential candidate for the opposition. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. What more y'all want, man? Y'all want blood? Black people, y'all want blood? Y'all stupid black people. When y'all gonna wake up? When y'all gonna rise and shine and give God the glory? Come on, bro. Our ancestors crying shame of y'all, man. Real shame of y'all. Real shame of y'all, black people. What wrong with we, man? What wrong with we? Give the man a chance. The man deserves a chance. He is there from the beginning until to the end. Actually, to the end. Leave the man alone. If you don't like it, the hell with you. Three-quarter, the opposition, the population respect this man. You know, man, we respect this man. We respect the portfolio that this man holds. That to bring back this country the way it's supposed to come back. Come on, bro. Let me stop this nonsense and get on with our life. We are some lazy South African people, lazy. Lazy and wicked. Come on, bro. You see the Indian doing it to their own. Come on, bro. If the Indian doing to their own is something that need to be gained out for whatever they're saying and doing. Come on, bro. What's really wrong with we people, man? You know, I kind of shame every day, every God day for see what we people doing against our own people in this country that gone to the dogs. The dogs gone to the dogs, so to speak, you know. We gone, you know. We gone. And you know what happened? Because y'all is up there, y'all care about who at the bottom. It's the bottom people suffering, boss. The bottom people. We got people in the square a million a day come. Especially black people. And some poor Indian people, boss, man. Come on, bro. I'm Indian more, boss. Come on, bro. When we gonna learn? When we gonna take a grip of we African people life, body? We's African. Come on, bro. Stop let me be African by looks. Let me be African from the heart, buddy. We gotta show African from the heart. If you don't show that, we're no African person. We are wicked just like the PPP. Wicked just like the installed government. The people don't like we. They don't like y'all. What are they doing to y'all? They giving y'all crumbs and dash y'all under the bus. What are they done to do to us? Their own. We were sheltering them all the years under the installed government. What are they do to us? You see what going on right now? Also the rigmarole story here. Also the rigmarole story. Come on, bro. Let me look alone and move on, buddy. And your Guyanese, y'all enjoy your rest of your day, man. Morning, brother Kidaki. Morning, viewers. Morning, all right thinking Guyanese. Guyanese, you can remember when, I know if y'all can remember, there was a saying long ago, years ago, that whenever the PPP get in power, they're going to remove the parliament from Georgetown and take it to Indian community. I can't remember. I was so young, you know. And I live this day to see that the people that get through, you know, man. Look how long pandemic is over. And why the opposition them, then they don't fight. They don't talk about putting back parliament in where it used to be. You understand me? It's a shame and disgrace, you know, man. It's a shame and disgrace. And I think the reason why these people said they don't want a parliament must be there because they're fighting Agricola, they're fighting all by town, they're fighting the ghettos them around this parliament, you know, so that whatever they want to do, you know, that they're not gonna get through, you know, man, so to speak. They're not gonna get through, but people are gonna you know, try to fight them. So they take it to actually an Indian community. See?
My name is Kadaki and the listening viewers here in Guyana and around the world. My thing this morning is that we have a long journey to go. And Guyanese, African, we must realize that oil money is everybody, all the citizens down to the babe and suckling in the cradle money. And we mustn't be fooled by that ballet guy that, like, if that money been left in the will for him, he sits there like a god and believe that that money is his. But time will tell. Because when you hold a whole country under a siege like what this devil is doing, woe be unto you. And we must brace Mr. Norton so that we can get, we have to focus. We have to focus. A simple theory we must look at. Why all the ministers and police that come to New York, that some of them even afraid to come, getting pulled over? I don't know how critics didn't get pulled over, or if the law we need to see his movements in the country that he is, in the US, before they put hands on him. But everybody in the PPP, eyes on the authorities' eyes on. You tell me there could be a good government? Guyanese, wake up. Wake up. And let we support we own. Support who? Would support the country and loyal to one another and stuff like that.
Thank you for that voice note. Before I play the next voice note, let me remind you. I did say yesterday morning, I come in here this morning, and the only thing I do is collect contributions to CAMS TV. So y'all start sending the money. Come on, there's the cell. 1-863-735-187, you were download. That's the Zelle. Those of you like Cash App, $ KAMSTV. How many of us are here? Enough. Y'all send $1 each. Minimum contribution, $1 each to Cash App. I'm waiting. I'm monitoring it. So go ahead. Start sending the $1. $1, you know. You could do more based on your conscience, but send me $1, man. Jamaican say we make a muckle. So if you send $1, we appreciate it. If you send $100, we appreciate you more. Send $1 to the Cash App. Please and thank you. Let's ensure it's working, man. Because nobody is sending nothing like it ain't working. Voice note. We have a voice note for you. Let's go. Oh boy.
That's really make me laugh. Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. No, one of the things that that's really make me laugh. You know, when I can't remember this one of people say that some of these guys are mentally lazy. You know, you gotta really sit down and think about what was said. Now, pertaining to these guys, this guy was talking about the signing $80 million signing bonus. The problem with a lot of these guys who support PPP, I don't know if these guys live in Guyana, or I don't know if they're not aware of things that are going on around them. Watch how long Minister Jordan talked about that signing bonus and what they use it for, right? But in the same breath, you don't hear them talk about the $214 million that still cannot up to now, because nobody, I don't know if you know if what will come out of the case, right? Because up to now, nobody knows what's going on with that case and if it ever solved, right? And where the money went. Nobody talks about that. You don't even hear people talk, you don't even hear this government talk about the lotto funds anymore. You don't know what's going on with the lotto funds. When last you hear this government talk about the lotto funds and what they're using the lotto funds to do, right? And you know, things like these, some of these guys need to, instead of bashing the opposition in terms of what they did from 2015 to whenever it is to 2020, some of these guys need to start asking this government what's going on with all of these things. What happened to the Petro-Caribbean rice deal, the deal that we had with Venezuela where we was shipping rice for oil? What happened to all of those monies? You hear Barajagio goes on press conference every week talking about all manner of things. You don't hear them talking about what are they using the funds to do and how they're using it. Right now, this government gets so much money that to me, like, they don't even know what they're doing with it. Right? And some of the supporters, instead of they coming on these programs and bashing the opposition and thing, they need to start asking questions as simple as that. Just ask questions. Ask your leaders them, well, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? Right? But what I find lately, that is the tone for enough of them. When they're not asking you about SOP, they're asking you about $80 million bonus, signing bonus. It's like a record they're playing. Up to this day, they're still asking about SOP. You could believe it. In 2024, one more year left, not a year or so, less than a year left for the next election, and they're still asking about SOPs. You know, these people are unbelievable. Anyway, you have a blessed day.
Thank you for your voice note. They're very unbelievable. Thank you for those two people who went into the Cash App. Waiting on the others all morning. Brent and Becky, thank you for going to the Cash App. I'm waiting on the others. Come on. We got 16 minutes to the 9 o'clock up. Call it on.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Amsterdam, and good morning, everyone in the Guyanese diaspora. Good morning to all Guyanese. On the issue of
Coffee.
Justice.
Just now, I want to get a big task before you proceed. Tell these people why they need to put something in the cash app on the Zim.
Well, it takes finance to build a nation. You know, it takes finance. It takes finance. You know, just the other day, a lady asked me, could she send some money to me because she thinks I'm doing a good work in this trouble? I said, sister, no. I don't want you to send any money to me. Send the money to Cam's TV. You know? Send money to, a lot of people want to send money to me. I said, send the money to Cam's TV years now. It's about 3 years now. They know who they are. They could call you and tell you. I told them, I said, hey, send the money to Cam's TV. Don't send money to me. I'm not, you know, I'm in this to see the PPP out of it. I'm in this because of my ancestors. Coffee. Monty Carter is my uncle by blood. So we've been fighting a long time. My grandparents got their house bombed 3 times by the PPP growing up. So, you know, I'm not new to this. I grew up on the downstairs of a PNC meeting in a PNC house as a little child. Every day I come from school, PNC meetings.
To be poor, it is a crime. Man, if you know that in this your time. Morning or your morning. Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. It is now 26 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour on the 9th of December in the year 2024. Yes, it's 7 hours 34 on December 9th, 2024. Welcome to Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. Share the live. Call a friend, tell a friend, hey, Mr. Amsterdam is on. Hey, Cam's TV is on. Call a friend, tell a friend. Share the link. Share the live. Do whatever you can do to ensure that we get the message to those that we need to get the message to. How you been? How was your yesterday? How was your weekend? Last time we spoke was Friday. How have you been since Friday? How you pass your Friday, entire Friday, and then Friday night? What went on for you? Did you leave the job Friday feeling satisfied that you conquered another week?
So, I'm sure that
and that you were well rewarded for your efforts? Is that how you felt when you left work on Friday? Or when you got to the end of the week? How did you pass the weekend? What did you do over the weekend? Use those special skills you have to create something, to modify something, to change something, to improve on something. What did you do? How many of you use your skills and talents to make some extra money? How many of you were in the lines lining up for the less than $500 grant, the 100,000 Ghana dollar grant? How many of you spent long hours in the lines? How many of you only now realize that you need an ID card to function as a citizen of any country? Or even a birth certificate? How many of you? You know, sometimes when I encounter certain things and so on, I cuss. I cuss up. And I ask myself, what is wrong with people? Generation comes and generation goes. What is wrong with people? Up until now, you don't know the importance of having an ID card. If you don't have an ID card and a birth certificate in the country you live, or the country you are a citizen of, you are considered an alien. You are an alien if you have no proof of citizenship. And so we have a whole lot of aliens in this country. And it comes from irresponsible parenting, I dare argue. Irresponsible parenting. I cannot understand How it is? Well, this thing is becoming more complicated in my head. How it is a parent is going to have a child that went through life from birth right on to adulthood, and that child has never had never had a birth certificate. Or maybe at some time the birth certificate got lost and was never replaced. How? How do you become an adult and maneuver through life as an adult without recognizing the importance of and acquiring a birth certificate? Y'all tell me. I want to understand that. And the birth certificate is the source document for every other thing you need, like the passport, like the ID card, official documents of citizenship, official documents of business. How do you maneuver as an adult without birth certificate, without ID card, without passport? It is my firm belief that every citizen should have a birth certificate, ID card, passport, and a driver's license. A lot of people don't place importance in having a driver's license. Maybe because they live in Ghana. And the way things are, they don't aspire, well, not that they don't aspire, they don't see the possibility of perhaps owning a vehicle in their lifetime. So they don't fascinate themselves with learning to drive. Or they see the madness that's happening on our roads and they decide, hey, I'd rather walk than drive because they're going to kill me on the road. But even if you're walking, you're in danger. But those are some basic things I think people need to have as citizens. Get your ID card, get your birth certificate, which will help you, which you can use to get your ID card, get your passport, and certainly get yourself your driver's license. Driving is not only convenient, it's a skill. If you can't find any other job, any place else, you can resort to driving. Even by buying a car with the help of somebody and working taxi, or simply becoming somebody's driver, somebody's taxi driver. Driving is a skill. Why am I lamenting this thing? Over the weekend, people approached me to find out how they can get a birth certificate, how long it takes to get a birth certificate, how long it takes to get an ID card. Like, seriously? And these are, for the most part, not only adults, but aging adults. So if this cash grant business didn't come up, a lot of our citizens would have been sitting there quietly, unknown to many of us, without ID cards, and therefore perhaps not on the voters list, and therefore were not prepared to vote. Y'all serious? So this cash grant could be a blessing and a curse. Because a lot of people are now running to get their ID cards. But the question is, after they get a cash grant, do they have any interest in their civic responsibilities like voting and so on? I wonder. I really wonder. The more times of change, the more things remain the same, if you ask me. I can't really and truly understand. Okay, the adults fail to get it done. These children go to school, don't they do social studies? What do we teach our children in school for social studies? How do we relate what they are learning in the classrooms to their everyday lives? Social studies, for example, types of government is one of the topic. How our teachers relate this topic to our children, so they can really recognize the relationship between what they're doing in the classroom and what's happening in the society. Because if our educators are doing that, then our children would recognize the importance of getting source documents, the importance of exercising their civic right, and so on and so forth. And so even if the parents are failing, the children by themselves through their education should recognize the importance of either pushing their parents along to get these things or going getting them by themselves. I'll tell you guys a story about myself. All the years of my life growing up as a youngster, I thought I had two names. Well, they say I had two names. You know, they like to give you a first name, a middle name, and a last name. Well, your last name is actually your surname. Yes, I had two names, or three names, first, middle, and last. When I was ready to write common entrance, and the school called for my birth certificate, and my birth certificate, my mother had a birth certificate for me, and I took it to the school. There was no name, child's name. That part was blank. There was no name on the birth certificate for me. In those times, you had hell and razor to get a birth certificate. It took you quite a long time to get. Nevertheless, I wrote common entrance with my assumed names. I went to secondary school with my assumed names. But then all in secondary school and so on, you learn of things like deed polls and so on and so forth and whatever. I became involved in politics and I was required to go to Trinidad on a youth conference representing the WP. And I basically, I said to the party at the time, the executive at the time, I don't have a passport. Okay, you can apply and get a passport quickly, but my birth certificate has no name. And Moses Bagwan, Brother Mo, a lawyer in the party, I usually see one of the party lawyers, Moses Bagwan. He said, come to the office and see me. And I went and quick time Moses Bagwan did what I later learned was a deed poll or something to the extent. But prepared the necessary documents and then had me before the court to swear. Quick time I had my name. Good. I kept my first name, which is Kidaki. I maintained that first name, Kidaki. I got rid of the second name, which I will not tell you. And I kept Amsterdam out of respect for my parents. Because that too I was tempted to get rid of and stay with one name. Good. But I share that to say, like I'm saying, even if your parents drop the ball, what happened in my case, as I later learned, at the time of registering the birth, because you know you register the birth in most cases, well, not in most cases, in all cases, the birth is registered at the hospital when the child is born. There was no given name at the time, apparently. And nobody followed up to ensure that the given name was eventually entered into the necessary documentation. And that was a good thing for me, quite frankly. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it was a good thing for me. I got to choose my name as an adult. But these are modern times and things are different now. And a teenager who cannot fill out an application for birth certificate form is an indication of something wrong in our society. A teenager who cannot say to their parent, Mom, Dad, I am now 14, and according to the advertisements or according to the law, I can now go and register for my ID card. Something is wrong with our education system. Before my children became adults or went into the world of work, they all had their ID cards. They all had a bank account. And in the case of my son, he already had an NIS card. My daughter my sons, I should say, they already had an NIS card. My daughter just turned 18. And she is going to go get registered for her NIS card. So when she decides that she's going to venture into the world of work, she already has these things. You know what else they had by that time? They were drivers. They were drivers. There's a certain stipulation for driving. You can't be a lorry driver until you get to a certain age, and only after then you could acquire a license and so on and so forth. But even before my children got to the age of being official lorry drivers, they were learning to drive, even in my yard. Those are little things that we can do to improve the quality of life of our children and our family members. We got nephews without fathers and mothers. Take our nephews and nieces under our arms and, try to be a guiding force. See them as your own. And then you don't leave them out to the wolves. The criminal minded to take them under their arms and groom them to become criminals. Because we will lose them. We don't leave them out there for somebody to impress them with $100,000. And they believe that they have gotten the world from the person. About a Henny, a shot of Hennessy. You know the things our young people do out there for these so-called luxuries. What them man is, they need them man to drink by you want to roll with them man. And because you want to drink Henny, the man got you doing all kinds of things, evil things. We have to provide that guidance to our young people and help them to maneuver these times. These are troubled times. These are seriously troubling times. And not only the youths are affected, but the elders too. If the elders can't see further than the nose, how they leading the youth? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's this and that Monday, so I usually I try to deal with it's politics. But I try to deal with it from a different angle. On Mondays especially. There are lots of things that you pick up over the weekend that you think should be addressed and so you start the week off with some of them. Take for example, I want to show you this video. I was just scrolling Facebook Reels, I think. Absent-minded. Ain't got nothing to do. I think I was sitting in the car and I just decided, to scroll through social media.
You can believe me refuse one man with car, house, land, and good morning lot. With a good job and a thick fat bank account and can give me everything they need. And he wouldn't cheat for me and treat me good like one queen. But no, a piece of shit like me refuse them for a street dog. Well, I get chain for the neck, me even get chain for me because if me own one, me no want them black man chop with my head anyway. and go up on the waist and drop down pants. Now we so tear up holy short like a this. Yeah, like this, the whole short, like you make it owner. And they can bicycle and put the top with a big music box and a smoke some long joint. And that the Bible like. But a piece of shit left me on read every day. And cheat for me and bring up some Nancy story. And you want douche. Some bush. That's why I can't even do bush cook these days because we don't want nobody hold me down in the bush. Me don't know what me want. Me with you get me.
Me and dear two people at the same time. Just weighing my options. Playing two sides at the same time. Me and dear two people at the same time.
All right. I hope you recognize what went on there. Do you recognize what went on there?
Me and dear two people at the same time. Just weighing my options.
I'm trying to get back to the I was trying to get back to the beginning of that same video because I really wanted you to hear clearly what was said in that video. Did you hear what was said in that video? Or not? Oh, here it is again.
You can believe me refuse one man with car, house, land, and good morning lot. With a good job and a thick fat bank account and can give me everything me need. And he wouldn't cheat for me and treat me good like one queen. But no, a piece of shit like me refuse them for a street dog. But I get chain for the neck, me even get chain for me neck because if me own one, me don't want them black man chop with my head anyway.
Me not get chain for my neck. Because if me own one, me don't want them black man chop off my neck. Did you hear that? Did you hear that in this TikTok video? I was just scrolling through and came across the thing and just, was listening absent-mindedly. And then it jumped out at me. It jumped out at me. Here is this person doing what I might consider a dramatic piece on TikTok. What is insinuating? Let me call it an insinuation. That she can't wear a chain on her neck because she's afraid a black man chopping out her neck. Y'all listen again. I want y'all listen. I don't tell y'all why I want y'all listen.
Can give me everything me need. And he wouldn't cheat for me and treat me good like one queen. But no, a piece of shit like me refuse them for a street dog. But I get chain for the neck, me even get chain for me neck because if me own one, me don't want them black man chop with my head anyway. And go.
The ERC is on my page every day, 24/7. I know they're on the page right now. Show yourself. Ralph Randolph says she's talking the truth. Everybody has their truth. I won't contest what she believes is the truth. But I was addressing the ERC. I'm saying every day the ERC is on this page. Every day the ERC is on this program. Monitoring it. Harassing participants. And harassing me, the host. I challenge the ERC right now, because I know y'all listening, to publish by ethnicity, by region, demographics, let me call it that. the number of persons you have invited to or interacted with to discuss racial profiling, let me call it that, and the so-called wrongs of racial profiling. That's an open challenge. Guyana got Access to Information Act and so on and so forth. You have to have Charles Ramson Sr. to release some information in relation to what I'm asking. Until you can do that, I will insist that the ERC is not deserving of anybody's respect in this country. The ERC, like many of the so-called government agencies in this country, you only see the ills perpetrated by one group of people, the ills according to their definition. But they don't see the ills of others. That doesn't surprise me. There's an old stereotype in this country that says black man are like work, black man like thief, black man like party, and black man like gal or woman. Black man like make picnic all over the place and I take care of them. Those are the stereotypes. And for the greater part, they emanate from Indo-Guyanese quarters. But there are also other stereotypes. Colour people cheap. Colour people scampish. And here, let me tell you about this scampishness, deceitfulness, cunning. I think that's the word that is in the textbook. That is how they describe. Colour people covetous. Colour people murderous. Those are stereotypes in this society. So from both sides of the aisle, you have stereotypes. But apparently the ERC only hears when one group of people stereotype the other group. They don't hear when the other group does the same thing. And so they're always ready to jump to front as the defenders of ethnic morality. Well, like I said, until y'all could publish your reports to see, well, show your hand, let me call it that. Show your hand. Y'all don't bother to invite me for nothing. I ain't coming. Y'all don't write me for no information. I ain't providing. Maybe as a constitutional body, you can go to the courts and get the courts to command me. I will respond to the command of the courts. So if this is your last resort, you might as well do it. Don't waste your time, because I ain't got time to waste. I'm sure there are many more where that one came from. And I can create a whole library, if you call it that, with them. Are you black man stupid? Me mad car one party and poison all of you with food and rum. The two things make protection. Two things make protection. Black man and zinc sheet. Y'all don't forget those things. Let the ERC show us how they dealt with those assertions. and then they could come and tell me crap. I saw Ralph Randolph or whatever his name is, whoever it is. Ralph Randolph, stop talking shit, release PNC SOP. Shit in your brain if you're still asking for SOP. I can search and I can find the headlines. In fact, because, and this is a reality, because the mainstream media is controlled primarily by Indo-Guyanese or Indo-Guyanese interests. They don't throw up Indo-Guyanese perpetrators of crime on the front page and so on. They just try to bury it in the middle with people. But I'm sure with diligent research, because I'm a diligent researcher, I can tell you that I can show up dozens of cases of Indo-Guyanese stealing, murdering, what I call it, scamming. I can give you a long list of them being just as criminal minded as the accused Afro-Guyanese of being. So yeah, Randolph, we got them on both sides of the aisle. I don't think you are greater than anybody. And you're certainly greater than me. I don't profess to be greater or better than anybody else. But I can stand with you toe to toe. I know of stories where big Indo-Guyanese businessmen in this country refuse to employ their own because they say their experiences taught them that their own will eat them out from inside, and the shell will stand there as if they're still surviving, but they're empty inside because their own just behave like wood ants. White collar criminals, blue collar criminals, they got all kinds of people involved. But for the greater part, do investigation, you're gonna see. So I hope the ERC is willing to take up my little challenge. Then we could talk. If you're willing to take up my little challenge, I ain't got time for you. We're not equals. The other issue which bothered me over the weekend was recognizing that having followed, respected, adhered to a court order, chief immigration officer, is that what she is? Was transferred. Unceremoniously transferred. Why? Because the court said Adonica Alda, I think her name is, the wife, the spouse of senior policeman Butos, embattled senior policeman Butos. The court said his pregnant spouse is free to travel overseas. So there's a court order which says this woman can travel. The immigration officer, official, respected the court order and was penalized for respecting the court order. Now, what does that say to us as a society? Was this woman supposed to throw the order over her shoulder like Janet Jagan did and wait for Anil Nandlal or Hickins or Buram to say, well done, like Dunat Singh did? There is supposed to be clear separation of powers. And the rulings of the court are to be obeyed unless otherwise challenged. And at the time of permitting, let me call her Mrs. Butas to travel, and up until now, we are not aware that there was an appeal filed against this ruling by the Chief Magistrate or Acting Chief Magistrate. What's her name? Faith Magusti, is that her name? I think. So what message are we sending to public officials? Are we saying to them they first and foremost must disregard rulings of the court unless otherwise instructed by quote unquote their superiors? Are we saying to public officials they must not perform their duties? In keeping with the law? Are we saying that every matter, administrative matter, that goes before public officials, they must refer to their seniors before they can make a decision on it? Because quite frankly, any official, as a matter of fact, any public official right now who doesn't want to be victimized will think twice before acting on instructions of the court. And so where is civil society? Where's the Bar Association? Where's the Chancellor? Where are these people to say to this government and say to the public, address this issue as a public one? And say to the government and the hacks in the police force that this is untenable, this is unacceptable, this is unlawful, this is illegal, this ought not to happen. Where are the colleagues of this senior policewoman? Because that's what she is, a senior immigration officer. Where are her colleagues? Why not dung tools? Because someday it's going to visit you. Huh? Why not dung tools? Because it is going to visit you sometime. And, you know, like they say, they came for the Christians, but I didn't bother because I'm not a Christian. They came for the Muslims or the Jews, and I didn't bother because I'm Muslim, neither Jew. What do you expect? How can a society function with a disrespect for law and order, disrespect for the rulings of the court, a disrespect for people simply carrying out their functions as public officials? Y'all talk to me. Is this a democracy? All I see in this country is dictatorship, bullyism. Once you got connections, to anyone in government, you can do as you like, because you're going to be protected. Is that how citizens must live? Why are we accepting this? Why aren't citizens on the streets protesting this nonsense? Oh, I just remember, we all caught up in lines trying to get registered for less than $500 as a one-time grant from the government. Isn't that so? Let us stay in the lines. To get our $500 or less than $500 or 100,000 Ghana dollars grant. And while we occupied in the line, the criminal cabal known as the PPP will continue to fetch away our rights and continue to disrespect us and continue to marginalize us as citizens. They say when the Europeans came, they came with trinkets for the Amerindians, and they give them trinkets. Or let me talk about the Africans. They said they give them Bible and collect land. The PPP giving you 100,000 Ghana dollars and they're collecting all your rights. We are afraid to lose a job that is paying us starvation wages if we stand up for the right thing. We're afraid to speak out because if we speak out, we ain't gonna get the perks that somebody aligned to the PPP will give us. Oh, I'm happy to report to you. I attempted the registration process over the weekend, and it was aborted because Mr. Sam is not going to have anybody take his photograph. All you need from me is my ID card. And I did say to you I was going to make the attempt because I wanted the experience of trying to get registered. And while it appears simple from the outside, when you get into the process, you really get to understand what is happening. You get a deeper understanding of what is happening. Name, date of birth, place of abode, address. Basic information. A photograph of your ID. Basic information. A scan of your ID. Basic information. Your banking information now. Of course, they want all of your banking details. Your account number, which bank it is at, when you sign up for it, and they go so deep into you like surgeons. When these folks collect this kind of information from you, they ain't gonna go to no court to get no order, no warrant to delve into your financial business, for example. So like Soku went and got a court order, if they got a court order to search Buta's accounts and so on, to tell us he got $500 million, I think, spread across banks and so on. That would have taken some time and they had to justify that. Can you imagine these criminals in the PPP having your banking information at their fingertip because they got a database that was collected because you wanted $100,000? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine in this time of all internet frauds and so taking place? Can you imagine the risk at which your information is at? Well, I certainly can. I'm happy that I went there, went through the process to some extent. and I gathered some information which I can share with you. But of course, people need $100,000. They're so bad that they got to get $100,000 for Christmas. And one of the other things I learned, which the WPA consistently argued, if we give people direct cash transfer, they will determine how to spend that money to improve their life. Okay? One woman said to me, I understand all that going on, but I gonna register because I want $100,000. I want to put an inside bathroom and toilet in the home. The $100,000 gonna help me to do it. Are you understanding the level of poverty these people got us living in? This citizen is saying, if I don't get that $100,000 grant from the government, it is extremely difficult for me to improve the sanitary facilities in my home. Are you understanding that? And people still rolling over and saying, well, some people are claiming that the PPP is good for Guyana. The level of poverty people are living in is sickening. Before I open up the lines, there's a video circle. Well, it's in the news basically of a female, some green the girl's name is. A female, what do you call it? Immigration security officer, something to that extent. A female who works at the airport as a security officer, aviation security, was caught sometime last week with illicit drugs, cocaine perhaps, wrapped around her body. Of course, she went to court and she pled guilty immediately. She had no time for waste. I was sentenced to 3 years in prison and got $4 million fine. And everybody is asking, why would you do that? Why would you throw away your future like that? You working as an aviation security officer, why you gonna do that? Why are you gonna do that? Because I can't survive on what you're paying me as an aviation officer, aviation security officer. It's as simple as that. Some people would say it's greed, some people would say it's dissatisfaction, some people would say it's all kinds of things. But when you examine the wages and salaries being paid to people in this society, you expect, quite frankly, it's America that more Guyanese are not involved in criminal activities. Or they're not being caught, or perhaps a blind eye is being turned on it because everybody is involved. I'm not going to get a well-paying job, a job that can pay my bills comfortably and leave me with some residual value that I can put in on a saving account, etc., that I can look to a brighter future with and put it at risk. The average rational human being is not going to do that. But when you're paying me money that can't even feed me for the first 2 weeks of the month, and I have to beg, I have to scrunch to make it to the next paycheck, and somebody comes up to me and say, hey, I get a hustle for you. Just pass this thing through and you got $5 million or $10 million, whatever the amount was. Isn't it temptation enough? Because what that individual is now seeing is, hey, if I get through, if I nick, is a brighter future for me. I ain't got to struggle paycheck to paycheck. I ain't got beg for you to the next of the month. The 5 million is a start. I could invest it in the business that I always planning for invest, but I can't make no savings out of my salary to invest in. So let us all stand by the wayside and judge that individual for making poor choices. I'm not saying I endorse the choice, but I'm saying the society has placed our young people, especially, in these precarious positions where they're forced to make hard choices. And until we're ready to address that, we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So we could continue to judge them and ask why they're making poor decisions. And don't ask our politicians why they're punishing them and putting them in these difficult positions to have to make poor decisions. The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. You tune to the Guyanese Morning Time. Let me say this. Yes, we have a good number for me to say this to you. I'm projecting that I will be shutting this page down. Cam's TV on Facebook to shut the page down. And so I'm telling you once and well, not once and for all, I'm telling you once again. Please go over to YouTube, subscribe to the page. Follow the page at YouTube, whatever the terms they use over there, subscribe. Please subscribe for alerts at YouTube. I am tired and fed up of the fight down on Facebook. This page has been hijacked for the last year plus. But I continue to broadcast on it because I want you to get the information. But over the weekend, I was totally removed from this page. Totally removed from this page. I couldn't post anything on it, and therefore I couldn't broadcast on it. This is an election season we're in. And I always dread this day. I told you it is going to come. Over and subscribe at YouTube. Go over to YouTube and subscribe. Where's the phone? To Cam's TV. Because when I shut this page down or when I stop broadcasting on this page, you're on your own. If you don't want to follow the YouTube page, right? Also, I told you to go across to TikTok. Kidaki Amsterdam at TikTok. Go across there and follow me so I can get to that number which will allow me to do live broadcasts on TikTok. We have alternatives to Facebook, and I am not prepared to go through this level of stress anymore to broadcast on Facebook. Good. I'm trying to think about where the phone is. I don't even know what to do with it. Anyways, we'll pay some bills and I'll get the phone, and so I can start taking your call. Okay?
Are you planning your next visit to Oil Guyana, South America? Well, let's accommodate you at Varon's Cheerful Country Manor. With free secured on-premises parking, our beautiful vacation air-conditioned home offers 3 beds, 2 bathrooms, a spacious kitchen, and all modern amenities. Located at Tushen, on the eastern bank of the mighty Essequibo and the western coast of the Demerara, Varon's Cheerful Country Manor is just a stone throw from the ocean. Make that reservation now on Airbnb and VRBO. For contact, call us on 516-770-3053 or 592-685-3521. Make Varon's Cheerful Country Manor your home away from home.
If you're looking for sweetness to put inside a basket, I am the whole blinking market.
Come get your Christmas bargains at the Buxton Christmas Market and Business Expo on Friday, December 20th from 14 hours and all day Saturday, December 21st. Church of God Road, opposite Tipperary Hall. The Buxton Christmas Market and Small Business Expo. Vendors 682-7981 for registration. Leon, good morning.
This 100,000 which people are like, you explain step part, the process, and the things that are required for this registration. I think it has been lost upon us that there was a Data Protection Act passed in August of 2023, which prescribed the basis for collecting people's data and who were authorized to collect the data and how the data how the collection of the data should be treated, and it seems that nobody is speaking to these issues. This cash grant and the process they're taking you through to receive this cash grant is in breach of that very act. And I think it has to be pointed out. You know, additionally, everybody seems to be caught up in collecting this cash grant, forgetting that this was to alleviate the cost of living crisis and the inflation crisis. And while everybody's caught up in these lines to register, the cost of living has skyrocketed almost 300%. You know, and this seemed to be forgotten by people. People no longer concerned about the cost of living crisis, but are all caught up with collecting this 100,000, which in fact has been further devalued. By the time you collect that money, it has absolutely no value. So I think immediately after collecting that money, people realize that we're in a worse off position, and the education that is required to attend to these things, I don't think it's being emphasized sufficiently. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for your call. Yeah, I maintain. I have been saying for quite a while, we don't have activist lawyers and so on in this society, and that too contributes to a problem because you know in the quote unquote force world, I'm sure lawyers would have been lined up to take people to court. I like now I want a lawyer offer the services to challenge this thing of the government wanting my photograph if I'm to register for this cash grant. Because as far as I know, the only document needed to prove my citizenship in this country is my national ID card. My national ID card. And so I presented my national ID card and I was refused. I was denied the completion of the registration process because I refused to take a photograph. It's not a breach of my right as a citizen. It's not discrimination because the parliamentarians did the same thing that I attempted to do, present your ID card. They didn't have to take photographs as far as I'm aware. They didn't have to go through all of these unnecessary stringent processes in order to be registered for that $100,000. So does the law allow parliamentarians, etc., to be treated differently to those of us who are ordinary citizens? Or everybody is supposed to be equal in the eyes of the law? Is there a lawyer who is going to step forward and say, Mr. Amsterdam, we hear you, and we think you have a point, or Mr. Amsterdam, it don't work, sir. You're talking nonsense. So we can't move forward because you're talking nonsense. Or we could move forward because, yes, indeed you were discriminated against. I'd like to hear from the legal minds. But like I said, there are no activist lawyers and so in this country. So no might become a no don't turn move from a boy to old man. So I know call it on. Call it on. Call it on.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. First thing first, we're going to get there by all means, and we will stop the runaway train. It's a matter of times. Let me pick up on that video that you played. Very interesting video. Because when I'm telling black people, my black brothers and sisters, Cody people always believe that they're better than black people. They don't love us. They don't like us. They only want us to work and they must get rich. And black people have to take life serious with Cody people. We got to stop tell ourselves that they love us. They don't love us. Can you remember a video come out a couple of years ago or last year where a college Cody boy said something about if you put $20 there?
Yeah, it was on UG campus. With the money on the tap up. Yeah.
Beautiful. But yes, I could jump bombshell. We love to jump bombshell. Yes, still Mr. Nigel Hughes and Mr. David Hines could tell Flash Garden because I only have first grade education. No Flash Garden, we must still stay with CCJ. No Flash Garden, we must still stay with CARICOM. No Flash Garden, the black man alone must in the army and fight for the people them. Let black people, children, parents alone must suffer and bear that burden if anything happens to black people, children in line of duty. I do hope them listening to that tape. If again tomorrow morning, let black people eyes open and understand. You gotta fight. My grandmother always teach me, you have to treat people the same way they treat you. I do hope Ganesh. I know Randall Lane was vexed sometimes for calling your name. I do hope Ganesh listen to that tape and come out on press conference and condemn that girl. Because she said what black man. Because he come out, he and four of them come out and bambase my sister Randall Lane. I do hope Ganesh get the guts. When I bother with TRC, them are dead upon Jack. We must always preach and remember what Jagan said. Own the land. And he used the word, and you go own the country. But Flasgani removed that because he did not want to look bad. You still there?
Yes.
He don't want to look bad in front of international states. So he said, own the land, and you go, own the land, you go own country. In that country, and you go own black man. Fine print. Explanation for Flasgani. If have to kill them, kill them. If you have to punish them. If you have to go to them children. And look what they're doing to exactly from something Jagan dead. Jagan themselves to the black people, children, and everybody punish them and all kind of nonsense. I want to play a tape before I leave. If you could find a tape. You remember Manjipo's story? What Mad Max said, Jagdio introduced that, Jagdio planet and all the nonsense that. But black people didn't take it serious, but Flatgan take it serious. A Cody girl in that same video, use the words of pour more gas on what? They commit that crime, cause problem at Manjipo, and make black man have to suffer for them crime. The TV, the social media guy, he posed the tape, he posed for see one black boy riding with some black money by see. But in a post, to let people see what a Cody guy said. Pour more gas. I ain't got more breath. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you for your call. State institutions can only be respected when they are impartial. For as long as they're partial, at least they ain't deserving of my respect. Call your life.
Yes, good morning, Kadaki and the listening viewing Guyana and around the world. My thing this morning is that I listen the parliamentarian on this Thursday press conference and differentiating what the coalition members' qualification, what they have and what they can do, and what they guys them, ministers them competent to doing. I would like to recommend Bara Jagdeo to sit on a debate with Amanza Walter Desir. That single parliamentarian. I wanted to sit and have a debate with her. Because I don't know the square peg in wrong hole that he have for ministers, or we could compare them with the stalwart in the coalition. And these is things where we supposed to sit down and analyze and look over, because they even can't run the country. The simple cash grant giving them a beating. And I bet any money that when we had the COVID relief, when people still got a pink slip that they can't present for proof up to now, we can get people who are getting more, because this $100,000 full the highs. That Ifan got to that dancing up like a little sissy on with a DJ and talking about 100,000 like if this money is them own. We under serious threat in this country, and we got to get another thing. Why the parliamentarian them is not going out to see the transparency of how this thing being rolled out with this cash grant? I've been watching Simona Brooms and this other one, Annette Ferguson. You know, you got to go out. You got to let people know, edify people. What is the do's and don'ts? And we're not getting that. We're not getting that. We're not bashing the opposition. We like to see that we bring the good things to the table, but we're not reaching out to the supporters there, you know. And there's a lot of things, but I don't know. We gotta do better, Mr. Kadaki. You have a blessed day.
Thank you for your call. Abigail Candace, John, good morning. What a honor. It has been quite a while. I say I left these shows. Or the guy abducted and locked up at Rob Street. I'm happy to know that you're wrong, girl. What kind of call your life?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Amsterdam, and good morning to everyone in the Guyanese diaspora. Good morning to all Guyanese. Now, Mr. Amsterdam, you raised the question about we're not being protected equally. And you just said recently that some agencies of governments are being able to do certain things and others aren't being able to do certain things. When pensioners, for example, go to pick up their monies from the government coffers, so monies have been given to pensioners and they have to use their ID cards to get those monies. And if they come back the following day to get the cash grant, they have to face different application of the law. Meaning that yesterday they were getting monies from the government to draw their pension, and today they come to talk about the cash grant, and they're asked to have or meet different criteria. There is a double standard. There is a misapplication or an unequal application of the law. If you applied it Monday, one way for pensioners, and they come back Tuesday to draw a cash grant, and you apply another application of the law when it has to do with receiving monies, then that's a misapplication. That's an unequal application. I think somewhere in Article 139 or 149 of the Guyanese Constitution, it has a few of them. that talks about equally applying the law to all Guyanese in regards to race, creed, social persuasion, or religiosity. So the things that Guyanese need to focus on, to answer your question, Mr. Amsterdam, is the equal or the unequal application of the law. It needs to be equal. While we're on the topic of the law, because this show is not only for Guyanese living in Guyana, right? We are also empowering Guyanese who are living in the diaspora, largely the United States. Yesterday, Donald Trump said that he will be footing a bill, or he's going to try to implement a policy that deports children of Guyanese or Jamaicans or Africans or Chinese that were born in America, if your parents aren't there legally. Now, we know a lot of our families are over there under questionable circumstances. But the right to soil, the right of soil, Guyana has the right of soil. If you're born on a soil, then you're a citizen of that soil. Irregardless of who your parents are, it's called the right of soil, just solely. Trump is saying that he wants to get rid of just solely. So why am I telling Americans, Guyanese Americans that? Because you have a vote. There are senatorial elections coming up. So you just can't sit idly by, because your senators have to say whether they're going to support or they're going to apply pressure to allow Trump or disapprove of Trump's suspending the right of soil. So Guyanese children who are born there to immigrant Guyanese who are not necessarily have all their paperwork, they will not be made citizens. And then they become deportable. Right? There's a whole category of persons who are there just on visas, who are working well, doing right. And they will fall on the category of persons deportable. So, if you don't know what to do, then the opportunity would pass and you do nothing. And then you complain after the fact. I said last week, and this is why the law is so important for those of you who are living in the United States, is to acquaint yourself. Because if you're financing a PPP government in Guyana, which you are financing with your taxpayers' money, even those of you who are on visa and working and green cards and naturalized citizens, you're financing Guyana because you're a taxpayer. Now, the United States Civil Rights Act says, and I'll reiterate, it says that because you are of a foreign national origin, it says that in the Civil Rights Act, Article 6, that you could push your case in the court of the United States. This is the federal court. You can file a civil rights action to say that the PPP must be brought to court. Now, Melly Mel talked about that. Just a few more seconds, please, Mr. Amsterdam. Melly Mel talked about bringing the PPP to court. Here is your chance to file action, civil rights action against the Guyanese government for discriminatory practices against African Guyanese as an ethnic group, and bring them to the court in a class action suit to make them answerable in the United States civil court, federal court, under Article 6, violating Article 6 of the United States Civil Rights Act. Thank you, Mr. Amsterdam, for affording me the time.
Thank you for your call.
Kadaki, good morning. And good morning to all Guyanese. My thing this morning is that reporter from Chronicle, the PNC and the WPA should block her from entering the press conference because she makes no sense with the question which she just asks. Dr. Hines, she asked Dr. Hines how much members he have in his party. Right? Dr. Hines actually, that didn't concern her. Ganesh was highlighting how contract has been given to some region, and this person gets so much contract and still they're behind time and still getting contract. She going to cross match and say 9 years ago. Yeah, good morning, Kadaki. And good morning to all guys. Next, a bundle of foolishness. Ganesh was highlighting this person in one region get so much a contract and they're behind time. She said that Kathy was this. Then she said, Nigel Hughes is the head for the AFC and working for Exxon, right? How better could come, right? If we get people like she just watching and talk a bundle of foolishness and asking question when you're highlighting she and show she the positive, she going back there. So Guyana could never go forward. It will always go back when they have reporter like she. Have a good day.
Kadaki, blessings and good morning to you and your listeners. Kadaki, with respect to that young lady that was caught with narcotics strap on her body, was taken to court, trial and was sentenced for 3 years, as I heard you mention. Kadaki, I'm in sympathy with that young lady. But the vice president of Guyana was caught on camera making a deal with a news agent with a lot of money involved. And you know he was allowed to walk free. Why? Because then he is the vice president. Kadaki, this could never be fair, and our country could never go nowhere when you, as a government, could get away scotch-free from doing things like that. The crime that girl commit, and I'm not saying that it is right, but then when you compare that with what the VP do, the VP case is a more serious case than this young lady. How much money Bharat Jagdeo salary is per month? It had to be a substantial amount, and he still get caught in doing these things. And God one knows what happened apparently that was not detected. Have a good one.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, viewers. Facebook is the PPP report here to Facebook. And Facebook gonna lose a lot of customers because there's so much people can take. You understand me? They're attacking people because people got freedom of speech and they're free to speak, provided they don't violate the laws of Facebook. You know, there's other sites you can use, Mr. Amsterdam, and go there and get the message out. The PPP can't take the truth. They cannot take the truth. And concerning that immigration officer, those other immigrations officers should pick it. They need to give that woman back her job. They need to give the woman Guyanese, y'all gotta stand up, or else the PPP gonna continue to discriminate against, especially Afro-Guyanese. Enough is enough. The people are fed up. That's my take for today.
Body Kidaki with money viewers. Pertaining to this grant that is installed government trying to win votes upon. You see this money that these people that this showing something people that he are catering for right now and the end of December, because them was said the end of November gone. They show these people incompetent. These people don't know what they're doing. These people just don't know what they're doing, you know, man. Anyhow, this 300 votes, this 300,000, yo, this is the amount that these people want to be headed by in Parliament. Look how this money gonna share out. Look how this money gonna share out. They're gonna choose people. They're gonna choose people and forget this money now. They're gonna call you and they're gonna give you all sort of high hopes, you know, man. So, Guyanese people, let me watch and see where this money going. You see, they're done there in the interlands. There's one and what they know they can always manipulate. You understand me? So, let me watch and see what's going on. These people are very wicked. They're coming in all forms. You know, they're like demons. That's how demons just roam, you know, man. Demons roam in all forms, you know, that's the people. So we have to rally around the opposition. The opposition is the way to go. You know, we got to put all our differences, that our individual differences with the opposition leaders them, and come together and kick this PPP out, this installed government out of power. They need to be last away in hell. That's where these people belongs to. These people is no good, and they will never be no good. They will get more worse. And the body rotten from the top. As long as you're rotten with top, the whole body bottom. As long as your head rotten, the whole body bottom. Anyhow, Guyanese, you'll have an awesome day.
Where is Royal Food? Mans and all the other MPs. Actually, I was able to understand these people are having a good morning, Kalaki. Royal Food. Mans and all the good morning, Kalaki. Where is Royal Food? Mans and all the other MPs. Allegedly, I was made to understand these people are having a heavy infighting. They are recalcitrants where Mr. Norton's instructions are concerned. They are giving this man a very hard time, I was made to understand. Now, they do not care what happened to the voters, the regular ordinary people. If they cannot get in power, to hell with the ordinary people. That's what it seems to be like where these people are concerned. These people seem to be more vindictive than Jagdeo. Black people should get out now. We're not to see certain MPs out. We're not to see Christopher Jones and others. We're not to see them with Norton anywhere. There are heavy infighting is going on against this man, a rebellious attitude against him. You understand me? I want black people to get out there. Get out there and start protesting. If you have to do all of these things to get that money, don't do it. Go take it to the court. The court know it is wrong and yet it's not come out and say nothing. Take it to the court. You know, Judge, you willfully treat poor people and black people this way. Pauperize them for a day like today, where they think they have no choice. And they will have to go and sign up for the money and give the bank account number and all these things to get that money. He willfully. He's a wise man. He's a bright man. It does not mean that he's a good man. Satan wise, right? Hitler was a wise man too, was bright. But their brightness to take it and do wicked things, destructive things to human beings. So you guys get to know what you are doing. Go out there, rebel against this situation, and let us get on track. Bye.
I wonder if them house slaves and them house like slaves can actually listen to what the woman is saying this morning. When she get him pay for say, plus she was $1,000. She get him pay for say so because that ain't just come from an ordinary coolie. And she's a real coolie. One. Two. You could remember Bart was to farm some whatever you call it, for investigate why Indian boys, Bart himself says why Indian boys are turned into crime. That alone is racism. When they got a role model like he, why in young Indian boys are turned into crime? You have to farm some commission to investigate why young Indian boys are turned into crime. When they got a role model like he, with the biggest criminal. Morning. Goodbye.
Thank you for your voice notes. It's 2 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. It's time for me to go, or I should start to make preparations to go. I want to remind you that you should start subscribing to the YouTube page. Please go across to YouTube. Please go across to YouTube because I'm seriously working on shutting down this Facebook account. So go across to YouTube. Continue to share the live. Continue to be a part of the discourse. Continue to support the program financially and otherwise. And continue to sit around your tables and have those discussions with your family members. It is important that we talk with our people in our homes, in our churches, in our communities. Whatever opportunity presents itself, let us use it. We can't continue to live in a society faced with all of this discrimination and we remain passive. Doesn't make sense. It will not help. The WPA press conference comes up at 11 today, and so I encourage you to join the press conference. Tune in to Times TV, both YouTube and Facebook. At least you have Facebook until such time. Remember to go across to the TikTok also, and follow me on TikTok. So eventually I'll be able to broadcast to you live on TikTok. We have to widen our scope. We have to give ourselves options because there's no doubt that the people and their folks are out to destroy us on social media, limit our ability to communicate on social media. Because they tell you this. The PNC lost their Facebook page, I understand, several weeks ago. Just yesterday morning, I learned that, or in the course of yesterday. They lost their Facebook page a while ago, and they're now trying to rebuild it. Is it anything strange that in this election year, people are starting to lose their Facebook page? Political people and organizations, pay attention. Don't be caught napping with your pants now. Good. Somebody was saying the cost or the fine to the young lady caught with the illicit drug, the immigration, the aviation security was too high. From what I know, the amount of fine you face is always dependent on the amount of drugs they find you with. Right? I can't remember if it is 3 times the value of the drug. It might be 3 times the value of the drug, but it has to do something to do with the value of the drug, the street value. Whatever the street value of the drug, then the code multiplies that, I think, and that is the fine you're required to pay. But I always have one outlook. I mean, yes, you have to do these things as a deterrent. You have to do them as a deterrent. But let me ask you this logical question. If I have to be a mule, or I am vulnerable enough to be a mule so that I can survive, where am I finding $3 or $4 million fine to pay the courts? The fine is usually an alternative. The sentence is 3 years and an additional of 3-point-something million fine, or an alternative of an additional 6 months in jail or another year in jail or so. My logical question is always this. can I earn that amount of money in the equivalent time of my sentencing if I were out on the street? In other words, if I'm going to face another year in jail, does my freedom allow me to earn that $3 million in a year, or it will take me several years? That's how I think. I think I'm rational. Because if I can earn $3 million in a year, even if I got it, I ain't paying you no fine for $3 million. I'd rather say I don't want to spend my other year. That's how I think. So sometimes it come across as almost comical. Let me just say that. But the fact is, you do the crime, you do the time. Can we avoid doing the crime? Does society give us enough hope that we would want to resist doing the crime? That's a question for the politicians and all of the social scientists and so on. You all have a good day. Much love. Remember the Cash App and the Zelle and the MMG and whatever else. I'll have a good day. I'm happy to have Flash Gordon back. I know most people don't like their businesses out there, but I understand he was unwell. And so it was good to hear him this morning. Because as I'm talking about that, we lost another member of the Camps family. I think his name is Edmund Scott. Mr. Scott from Melanie Public Road died about a week ago from heart attack. Nevertheless, I'll have a good time. Mr. Scott is going to be buried on Wednesday, cremated at Memorial Gardens. The service is from 12 to 4, I think. At the end of it, it's going to be a commission, all at the Memorial Gardens. I'll have a good one. Bye-bye.